Hi, my name is Bookan, and today I will be reviewing this book called The Mark of Athena, which is written by Rick Roidan. Rick Roidan is a very good author and a very famous one too. That's written over 20 books, most of which involved mythology and stories about gods that still exist. And yeah, so this book is actually the third book in a series of 5 books. The so this The series is called The Heroes of Olympus, as you can see here. And so the series is all about the Greek and Roman gods clashing after the first series, which is called Percy Jackson, which I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of, is all about the Greek gods in a battle against Kronos, who was the Titan. Now, in this story, however, it's all about Camp Jupiter, which is full of Roman demigods, fighting against Camp Half-Blood, which is full of Greek demigods, while the world is on the brink of collapse because a huge giant is about to rise. So this series is very cool as it's the third book in the series. And the first book in the series took place from a Greek point of view, and the second book in the series took place from a Roman point of view in Percy Jackson's. So the blurb of this book reads: one fatal prophecy, 7 brave demigods, a quest to find and close the doors of death. Annabeth felt as though someone had draped a cold washcloth around her neck. She heard that whispering laughter again, as if the present had followed her from the ship. She looked up at the Argo too. Its massive bronze hull glittered in the sunlight. Part of her wanted to kidnap Percy right now, climb on board and get out of there while they still could. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to go terribly wrong. She couldn't risk losing Percy again. This is the blurb. So if you've seen close attention to the title, you may have noticed that So this book is split into chapters like most books, but the thing that sets this book apart is all the chapters are set in different points of views. So the first chapter is set in Annabeth's point of view, who is the main protagonist for this book. But if I go to this chapter, which is the 29th chapter, it's set in Leo's perspective, who is one of the 7 main characters. And if you listen here, it says 7 brave demigods. So there's 7 main characters in this series. Now, so each one of these chapters takes the point of view of a different person. So it's really interesting as you're able to see whose point of view you're looking at and how they feel while an event is happening. So there was one part of this book, the invasion of the fight at Rome. It showed the perspectives of 3 different people, and you could really understand how every single person is feeling during that fight, and it was a really fun thing. So a couple things that I enjoyed in this book were, like I said, the chapter system, and I really liked how in-depth the characters were. So they're not just cardboard cutouts. You can actually believe that these are real people. You can feel their sorrows and their worries. And another thing that I enjoyed was how old characters from the previous series, Percy Jackson, returned into this series. So in the previous series, Percy Jackson, as you can tell from the title of the series, the main character is called Percy Jackson. And if you look in here, most of the chapters are either dedicated to Annabeth or Percy, who is right here, Percy. And so it also brings in new characters such as Jason and Leo and Piper, but it also stays with the old characters, and it brings in old characters towards the later parts of the series, such as at the end of this book they introduced Nico, and they let him have a point of view in the next book called The House of Hades. And they've introduced new characters and they've brought in old characters again, and it makes for a really interesting read. So you have these old characters that you all come to know and love over the years that Percy Jackson has been a series while you read Percy Jackson, and there's new characters that are also equally enjoyable. So overall, I would give this book about 8 out of 10 because it was a very, very enjoyable read, and I really like how this author's style altogether. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this book review, and if you did, please hit the subscribe button and like.